Welcome back, nieces and nephews, to JEWAP, which stands for Just Everything with Auntie Pookie podcast. I'm your host, Sydney, or as many call me, Auntie Pookie. And if this is your first time tuning in, you are in for a treat. We have so many things we talk about on this podcast, whether it's motivation, entrepreneurship, mental health, weight, anything you can think of. Now, this part of the podcast is Ask Auntie Pookie Anything. If you want to send in a question or you want to be on the podcast or advertise your business on the podcast, you can reach out. Our number is 970-528-0319. Let's get it. So, one of the first questions is, what is your pet peeve? Maybe the top 5. I kind of have like some dumb pet peeves, but one thing that really gets on my nerves is like when people reach out to me and ask me to do something for them and not be like, hey, what's up? How are you doing? You know, all of that jazz. And then be like, hey, by the way, do you mind, A, B, C, D, F, G? That's definitely a pet peeve of mine, especially if I don't talk to that person for like months, right? And then they want something. It's just kind of annoying. And it just makes me feel like you just want to hit me up because you want something. Another pet peeve of mine would be, I really can't stand when people don't listen to what I say. Like if I'm in an argument with someone, and I'll just say it through text because that's really like you can see everything and reread what a person says. I feel like it really pisses me off when people just take bits and pieces out of what I say and don't really answer the questions. They just pick the one thing that really pissed them off and then they answer the question. My third pet peeve, I would have to say, is people telling my secrets. Like, if you confide in someone and you believe that they are the person that you want to tell stuff to, and then next thing you know, another person knows because they bring it up to your attention. They be like, well, so-and-so told me, that really gets on my nerves. And then it also like breaks my trust with that person. And then I don't really know how to I would say I don't really know how to fake it when it comes to a person that has told my business, because I kind of act weird around them, but not like intentionally. It's just like, I don't trust you, so I'm not going to tell you stuff. You know what I'm saying? Number 4, I would say a pet peeve of mine is working out. Like, I'm in the process of my weight loss journey, and I just get like so winded because, when you first start working out after a while, or when you haven't worked out for a while, you're just like, oh my God, I just want a Twinkie or Taco Bell. And that's how I be feeling. So there's that. Now, dancing, when I used to go to dance class 3 times a week, I was in there killing it. Molly rocking it, chicken heading it, twerk, all that good stuff, rum shaker. All I want to do is a zoom, 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 and a boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? I was killing it. So I definitely love dance, and I have like 5 or 6 dance games on my Nintendo Switch, which I do all the time. I would say my 5th pet peeve is when people make me feel unwanted. So this is just crazy, but I've noticed so many things, and going to therapy has opened my eyes to so much. When people really don't like you, they still invite you to stuff. And then when you're there, they just act mad weird, or they're just like fake towards you. You know what I'm saying? And it makes me feel uncomfortable because at the end of the day, none of us are perfect. But if you truly have a problem with me, you can either speak to me about it or don't invite me. And then we could cut all ties. You know what I'm saying? There is no problem with letting go and growing. So I definitely am in a place in my life where I know that everybody's not going to like me, but I also don't want to be invited if you truly don't want me to be there because you're a low-key hater. And there's that. Let's see. Another question we have here is, if you could change 5 things about yourself, what would it be? I would say the 5 things I would change are creating better time management, because I definitely have so much going on And I always try to fit stuff like in one day, but I need to just space it out so that I'm not burning myself out and doing 15 hours of work in one day. But I'm doing better at that, so that's, I guess, changing. Number 2 would be just eating better in general. I love food. Who doesn't love food, right? Especially if it's good food. So the change that I am going to change is just incorporating better foods and less consumption, if that makes sense. The 3rd would be, I wish I would have known what I know now when I was like 21 or 22. But I do appreciate the fact that God has placed me where I am now. Because if he didn't place me here, then I wouldn't be like doing all of the things that I'm doing and having all the doors open for me. And I also, of course, wouldn't have experienced so much of the heartache and losing friends and being in crazy relationships and whatnot. But you live and you learn. So it is what it is. 4, what I could change about myself, I would say my own motivation to be like at 1,000. I motivate myself, but sometimes it's hard to motivate yourself. And I feel like I'm not the only person that struggles with that. And then believing in myself, I'm like, oh my gosh, I could do this. And then when God gives me these crazy visions of how things are about to be, my body is like, goes crazy. It's just like, oh my God, this is what's going to happen, blah, 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 and it's like, I just have to believe that I can do it. And, then I can just keep pursuing what he has for me. 5, going back to believing in what God has put on my heart. One thing that I want to remind people is that what you do to people can really mess them up. Like calling them stupid, saying they're a child, saying they're never going to be anything, that could legitimately mess them up. So when you don't encourage people and you discourage them and you really tear them down, it affects them. So what I'm trying to change mentally, I would say, is unlearning those things and rebuking those things for the simple fact that, and I want everybody to remember this, and I probably said it on my little short motivational things, but what people say about you, like where you're at in life, and because you're 50 and you still haven't found what you want to do, like always remember, and I'm trying to remember this myself, and I always tell myself that it's like your journey where God has you at whatever time is your time, not the time limit other people want you to be on. And also, if there's people that are not there to support you when you're at your level 1 and you're trying to get to level 10, those people really aren't meant for you. So kick them fools out your life. Shoot. Okay, this next one. How do you feel about the word love? Okay, I low-key might do a podcast on this because love is a tricky one. So I believe love is good and bad. So I'm going to start with the good. The good, I believe, is, all of the love that God promises us, right? And what he says in the Bible. And I truly believe that love, and I honor that love because that love never fails us. Now, when people love you, like your friends or family, for example, it's like, this is dope. They love you. They support you. But not all your friends and family are like that. And then sometimes when it comes to relationships, a person that really loves you is there for you, supports you, and is with you through all walks of life. And that's if they're meant to be the person that's supposed to love you. On the bad aspect of it, I feel like love can be abusive because people misconstrue the word love and they act like it's a weapon. For example, I've had someone say, oh, if you love me, you would do this. And I did not want to do that. You know what I'm saying? And I won't get into details. And that could be, like I said, a podcast for another day. But I think that when people put you in those situations, they really don't love you. They're just selfish. Okay? They are selfish as ever. So know the difference between real love and abusive love. Okay? So the last question I have here for this segment is, what is your spirit animal? So this is kind of funny. So if you know me, you know I love animals. I love so many things. Oh my gosh. I tell people I'm a Disney princess, and some people laugh and some people are like, what? Yeah. Fight me. No, I'm kidding. So One of my spirit animals is a sloth because there are days when I'm moving slow. Like, I am moving slow. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be a grown up. I just want to lay in bed and scroll through some TikToks or watch Investigation Discovery, you know? So there are days when I'm just like, slow. I would also say, in a sense, I'm a raccoon. Because I wouldn't say like I'm a robber, because raccoons rob stuff. They be going through trash or whatnot. But I feel like the toughness and boldness a raccoon has, when people be all up in their grill and they be like, what's up? Like, raccoons are some straight thugs, okay? And at times, I get a little thugger-ruggish, you know what I'm saying? And let's see, I'm trying to think of another spirit animal. I don't really know any animal that eats a lot. That's definitely me because like I said before, I love food. I would definitely, you know what? I would say I think it's pandas maybe that are super clumsy. Now, I know if you're listening to this and you know me very well, I've had jacked myself up a lot of times. I had 2 boots and then crazy, I slipped on some ice and hit my head on a fire hydrant years ago. It's funny now, but before it wasn't. And sadly, I'm kind of suffering from headaches from that currently. And I think that was probably like, maybe 10 years ago. I'm not really sure, but that was crazy. I've definitely tripped up the stairs, down the stairs, tripped over my own shadow. Like, I'm definitely clumsy, and I'm always telling myself, girl, if you don't slow down, slow the heck down. So there is that. Panda bears are so clumsy. And I would say, you know what? Definitely, I am a sugar glider or a squirrel. I run fast, I fly from tree to tree. That almost sounds like I'm a witch, but I literally am just adventurous and I fly out there. I really like to try stuff. I'm not afraid to try things. And I definitely love that about myself. So yeah, I'm definitely any kind of flying anything. And sugar gliders are super cute. Okay, so yeah. But I think that's really it. So thanks for tuning in. And until next time, and again, if you want to send in questions or whatever you would like to do with the podcast or even the marketing company, you can hit me up at 970-528-0839. Thanks for listening.